Gary had been working with me a lot since our first disastrous trip to the gun range, and I'd finally gotten it. Rushing meant making mistakes which either got you killed or meant you had to correct for them. Correcting for mistakes took time, so it was faster to take your time and do it right. I got within 10 yards of the technical without the guy noticing me. My mottled tan shirt and khaki pants blended in quite well, and the setting sun kept things just dim enough to give decent light, while not making my outline too easy to spot. I slowly raised my gun. Rather than shooting right away, I waited and watched. Sure enough, a pair of men passed by on the other side of the truck after a minute. I waited for them to leave and then return again. About 10 minutes a circuit. As they moved down the hill and out of sight a second time, I tried to time how long until they couldn't see the guy on the gun anymore. When I was reasonably certain they wouldn't glance back and notice anything wrong, I shot. The bullet hit the guy square in the nose, and the immediate distortion of his face, along with the wet "erk" sound he made and the way he collapsed, caused me to immediately gag. I tried to control my stomach as I shifted my aim to the driver, but my heart was pounding. "Shit," Yarm said. "You just pissed yourself, Jerry. Come on." I ignored him. The driver had noticed the gunner collapsing and was moving around. After a second of trying to get a bead on him, I gave up. I flipped the selector switch over to auto and I sprayed a burst. Luckily for me, the truck had no glass left in it, or the sound would probably have drawn attention. As it was, the metallic clang of bullets hitting the truck itself was plenty loud, so I jumped to my feet and ran forward. I opened the driver's side door and promptly vomited on my feet. There was so much blood. I tried to ignore it as I pulled the driver's body out. I looked around for something to wipe the blood off the cracked leather bench seat with, but then I heard shouting. Looking down the hill, the patrol was yelling and pointing at me. Oh, crap! I jumped in and fumbled for the ignition. A loud clang from the hood was followed almost immediately by a gunshot from down the hill. I whimpered as the engine turned over and roared to life. The truck was a manual, which was good. I engaged the four-wheel drive and put it in reverse as more clangs and gunshots ran out. I'm pretty sure the loud, high-pitched keening was me screaming in terror. I backed down the hill quickly, then jerked the wheel as I worked the clutch and got it into second gear. I was so thankful that Sarissa's driving avatar hadn't been a temporary thing. I punched the gas and roared away, but I'd lost my bearings. I looked around trying to spot the sun, but down in the valley like I was, it wasn't clear. One side of the sky was darker than the other, so I assumed that direction was east. I put it on the passenger side and shifted up. The other two technicals appeared over the hill in the rearview mirror, and their gunners began shooting. I screamed louder. I kept the wheel steady, maneuvering easily around the various trees, holes, rocks, and other obstacles as I bounced along. A few of the bullets from the machine gun struck my truck. I stopped screaming and held my breath, praying they wouldn't shoot out my tires. I had the better truck and a lot more skill at driving than they did, but I was now moving uphill and they were still moving downhill. The distance between us closed, and I was beginning to realize that I wasn't going to escape this time. Right as I decided to at least try to die like a man, taking as many of them with me as I could, I heard a loud crash behind me. I checked the mirror and I could see one of the technicals tumbling away, surrounded by a black cloud through which I glimpsed writhing tentacles. A nightmarish roar sounded over the roaring engine, and I cheered, "Yes! Ixie, you rock!" A second later, I saw the most beautiful butt in the world suddenly take up the entire rear view, and Anna had appeared in the back. She casually picked up the body that was still there with one hand and tossed it aside, turning the machine gun on the other truck. 2 quick bursts, and it careened off and ran into a rock. She vanished from the back and appeared on the bench next to me. "Hey, babe, how's tricks?" she asked with a bright smile. "Oh my God, I am so happy to see you," I said. Her hand went straight to my lap and she gave me a squeeze. "I can tell." Her other hand joined her and she managed to undo my pants. "Keep driving," she said. "Don't mind me." She lowered her head to my lap and I almost wrecked the truck. "I'm going to stick around, just in case you need me," Yarm's voice sounded in my head. "You know, in case anything else happens." Yeah, damn it, woman, knock it off. I'm not doing anything. That's Jerry. No, but he might need... Fine, ruin all my fun, you jealous nag. Yarm's soul slipped out of mine, cutting off his ability to experience everything I did, and I tried in vain to stay focused on driving until I finally gave up and came to a stop underneath a tree. I owed Inanna something anyways. The end.